Hi folks, how you doing? I just thought I'd do another little video with regards to the game Shithead and how we play it, or Stinker, or Idiot, or whatever you call it. In my last video there was quite a few comments of the different variations and different names and things like that. There were also a lot of questions, or I say a few questions regarding the different cards again. So what I thought I'd do is go through the different cards, what they mean. I thought I'd give a few examples and a few scenarios as well, just to try and help people out with how we play it. So let's get into it. Okay then guys, let's go through the cards again. So we've got a 2. A 2 is the best card in the deck really. It's a magic card. We call them magic cards. All the ones that do anything we class as magic cards. So with the 2, it can go on top of anything at any point. So whether you're 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, king, queen, ace, whatever the card is down, the 2 can go on top of it. It almost like resets the deck. So if I put a 2 down, the next player can put any card 2 or above. As normal in the game of Shithead. So 2 is a great card. We always use it. You want to keep it in your hand basically until for as long as possible, just because it is the best card and you can end the game on it. The next magic card we've got is an 8. So 8 is miss a go. So if you play an 8 down, the next person misses a go. Now what I don't think I explained in the last video, if you put 2 8s down, so you've got 2 in your hand, you can play them both together at the same time. If you put 2 8s down, depending on how many of you are playing, it would be that number of players miss a go. Say there's 4 of you playing, you put 2 8s down, the next 2 people miss a go, and then so on and so forth. If there's 3 of you and you put 3 down, 3 people would miss a go essentially. So 8 is miss a go and you can play them all at the same time. So the idea of the game is to get rid of all your cards, and you normally play an equal to or higher than the card that's currently down, except for a 9. 9 is the only card you play lower than. So if someone puts, let's say, a 7 and then you put a 9 on top of it because it's higher than, the next person has to play 9 or lower. If they can't, they've got to pick up the deck. So 9 is lower than. The next magic card is a 10. 10 kills the deck, so whatever's down in the pile, 10 will kill it, and they're out the game. Now the only card the 10 cannot go on is a 9, because 9 you're playing lower than, so 10 is the only one that can't go on. Sorry, you can't play a 10 on top of a 9. Essentially, that's the only card you can't play this on. You can play it on cards higher than it, but you can't play it on a 9. The other thing with the 10 is you're not allowed to finish on a 10, because what happens, you put your 10 down, you clear the deck, you get another go to start it off again, so you can't finish on a 10. So if your last card you turn over is a 10, unfortunately you're picking up the deck. The last card, or the last magic card, is the most controversial card in the deck, as we've explained, is the Jack. It means that the next, if someone plays a Jack, you passing whatever's in your hand onto the next player, and so forth. Everyone passes on whatever's in their hand. You play 2 Jacks, it moves 2 spaces. You play 3 Jacks, it moves 3 spaces. You play 1 Jack, it just moves 1 space. And that's essentially what it means. Now with the Jack as well, one of the questions we had in the comments was, if your last card is a Jack, do you still win? Technically yes, as long as the person to your right doesn't have any cards in their hand. If your last card is a Jack and you and the person to your right has cards in their hand, unfortunately you do get their cards, because technically you were still in the game at that point. So you can't, unless there's no cards left in the person to the right, you can't. It's not a good idea to try and finish on a Jack, which you don't have any say in. If it's your last card, it's your last card. So they're essentially the meanings of all the cards, or all the magic cards. Ace is high as normal, and all the other cards have their face value in terms of numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it up now, and I'll show you a few different variations of meanings in the game, and hopefully that'll help everyone who's playing and learning for the first time. or trying to play just to get to grips with it a bit better. So I'll see you in a sec. The only other one to cover, guys, is 4 of a kind. So if 4 of the same, all 4s as well. If 4 of the same numbers or faces, so if there's 4 jacks, 4 queens, 4 5s, whatever it is, 4 of a kind, that clears the deck. So no matter what's underneath it, it would clear everything underneath it and they're out the game. Now it doesn't matter if, say, I put 2 4s down, the next person put 1 4 down, and then the person after that put the next 4 down. Whoever puts the last 4 down, or the last one to make 4 of a kind, they count the cards out the game and they get another go. Okay folks, so we've got this game set up. Hopefully you can see it alright. Let's try and get it. So this is just a scenario. Unfortunately there's nobody else here to play at the moment, so you'll have to bear with me. So they played a queen. This is what I've got in my hand. So I've got 2 7s and a 2. Now the 7s can't go on it because they're lower than the queen, but what I can do is I can play the 2 because that can go on top of anything, and then in theory the next person would go, right, these are my cards, a 7, a 4 and a 10. So I can either play my lowest card, because 2 resets the deck, I can play my lowest card and get rid of that, or I can play a 10 and just get rid of them all out the game. Me personally, I'd probably save the 10 because it's almost like a get out of jail free card, and the chances are this will build up again, so the next person will have to pick up possibly, or they'll pull them out themselves. So me personally, I'd play the 4, and then this person then play the 2 7s, and then you've got another 7 here. Now the person, I'd look at my cards after they've had their go, they've put that 7 down. I'd look at my cards and go, right, I can play the 8s, or I can play the jack and swap cards, not knowing what he's got there. Eventually what's going to happen in this scenario, if you play 1 8, or if you play them both, it'd go, they miss a go, you miss a go, because you played them two of them. So what you'd have to do is go, you miss a go, I get another go, you miss another go, and no matter what happens, you're going to be playing your jack because it's your go. So you'd play the jack. So in theory, this would come to you, and then you go, oh, I've got a 10. The next person then would go, right, the only thing I can play is my queen. They'd play their queen. You'd play your 10, because it can go on top of anything but a 9, and these cards would then be out the game. And then you'd carry on then as normal. Okay, second scenario. We're down to the last cards. Both sides are down to the last cards. They've just played a 4. I've played a queen. They would then say play this one, which is a 2, which is great. I then, because 2 can go on top of anything, don't forget, play a 6. So we're both down to the last cards. So this person, they cannot finish on a 10. So their last card was a 10, which they can't finish on because technically they were going to get another go. So they'd have to pick up all these cards, and these cards are all in their hand. So this person's thinking, yes, I've won this. And theirs happened to be a 10 as well, so they pick up that card. So essentially, these two would be playing against each other with no cards down, and essentially it's the first to get rid of all their cards then. Okay then, the next scenario, this person's down to their very last card. This person's got the 3 down and they've got the 3 in their hand technically, or 2 in their hand, sorry. So they've just played the 6, so this person, who was last card, they turn it over, it's a jack. Now because this person has these 2 cards in their hand technically, and this person played the jack, this person would get these 2 cards then, and they'd still be in the game. If the second player didn't have these cards and this person turned over the jack, then they'd be out and they would have won. But because they had the 2 cards, the player 1 gets the 2 cards and they carry on playing until there is a winner. Okay guys, so the last scenario then is to do with 4 of a kind. So the last player 2 has just played a 2 on top of an ace. So it's now my go. Now I can either play an ace, which is a good card, or because it's only a 2 down, I can try and get rid of my lower cards. So what I would do in this scenario is I play both my 4s at the same time. You'd pick up 2 if there were still 2 cards in the deck. And then player 2 would look at their cards and go, right, I've got 2 4s as well, and I've got an 8. So I can play the 8 and they miss a go. And then I'm screwed really, because I've only got 2 4s which won't beat it. So I'd be hoping there'd be a higher card in the deck. Me personally, I play the 2 4s as well. So there's 4 of a kind, and that means everything under here is out the game now. I pick up 2 cards from the deck, and then it'd be my go again because I cleared the deck. In this scenario, I play my 6 to get rid of my lowest card. I hope that's helped, guys. If you've got any more questions or want to ask any more advice or scenarios or anything like that, leave a comment in the leave a comment below, and I'll do my best to answer them. Please like the video if you can, it helps me out a lot, and subscribe as well, and I'll put a link up to the first video going into more detail and showing the game a bit better then as well. But thanks a lot for watching, guys. I really appreciate it, and just hit that like button. Thanks a lot. Bye.